Hello, learner. Welcome to Mr. Quaker's Teachers. In this lesson, I'll be providing the character profile and traits for PAPA-NNUKWU from Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie's novel Purple Hibiscus. My analysis will be especially helpful for those writing either the GCSE or IGCSE or any other exam, or someone who is studying the novel Purple Hibiscus and needs some information on the character, because PAPA-NNUKWU is a key character in the analysis. In fact, for the GCSE or IGCSE, I have this question: in what ways does Adichie make PAPA-NNUKWU such a memorable character? So that's a question that can be thrown to you, in the exams. And I hope that after this analysis, you'll be able to do justice to the question. Let's dive in. Now, let me begin by highlighting the points I'll speak about PAPA-NNUKWU. I have about 10 points on him here. The first is that he holds traditional or superstitious beliefs. The second is that PAPA-NNUKWU acted as the custodian of traditional Igbo belief and folklore. The third is that he had mostly, negative view of Christianity and saw it as a religion that condones disrespect for fathers. The fourth one is that he is disregarded by his son, Chief Eugene, and that's something that's key in the novel, the relationship between Chief Eugene and his father, or Papa, who Kambili refers to as Papa and his father. And the reason is because of his traditional beliefs. That's why they have this conflict. And on the other hand, PAPA-NNUKWU thinks that his son, is worshipping the Christian God. And the fact that the son and the father is equal for him is the reason why his son does not regard him. Then PAPA-NNUKWU is also very bullish and fought back against his son, Chief Eugene, his excesses. He also shows gratitude for little things. He's loved by his daughter, Auntie Ifeoma, and the grandchildren, Amaka, Obiora, and Chima, and also Jaja and Kambili also have a soft spot for him. And also to a large extent, Mrs. Achike herself, or Mama. He loves to laugh and tease. And then the ninth is that he lived with old age-related sicknesses, and the 10th is that PAPA-NNUKWU lived in squalor or poverty. Now, in terms of his character, PAPA-NNUKWU is an octogenarian or 80-year-old father of Chief Eugene Achike, and Auntie Ifeoma. He's also the grandfather of Jaja Kambili. So Kambili is the narrator, Amaka, that's Auntie Ifeoma's children, Amaka, Obiora, and Chima. His son, Chief Eugene Achike, described him as a pagan, godless, heathen, idol-worshipping father. That's how Chief Eugene spoke about his father. And as someone worships the gods of wood and stone. He lives in extreme poverty in a small compound in Aba. That's their country home, with no sewage system. Now, PAPA-NNUKWU is first referenced when his son Chief Eugene laments that, quote, nobody had spent money on his schooling, especially not his godless father, and Kambili refers to him as our PAPA-NNUKWU. So that's the very first time that the reader, meets him, even though not physically. But then there's a reference to him by Chief Eugene when Kambili does not take the first position in school, and then he's chastising her for not doing that. And he says he took first in school, and then his father didn't help him. His father never spent the money. His father never spent money on him. His father was a godless father, one who was a heathen or a pagan. Now, it is Auntie Ifeoma who reveals his age. So the fact that he's 80, and then we see that in the quote here. Quote, see how he looks so youthful. Who would believe he's 80? So Auntie Ifeoma is the one who reveals to the readers that PAPA-NNUKWU is 80 years old. Now, in terms of his physical description, he's described as being stooped with age, necessitating him walking with a cane fashioned from a tree branch. So he walked with a cane that he got from a tree branch. Now, this again is a reference to his poverty. The fact that his son is this rich industrialist with one-ton wealth, paying the school fees of hundreds of people, building portions of hospitals, but then his father does not even have a proper cane to walk with. He's also a very tall man, PAPA-NNUKWU, and this is how he's described, quote, or him. So he says, I am an old man now and my height is gone. So this is how he describes himself. I'm an old man now and my height is gone. I would not fit into this car in my prime. So here he's speaking about anti-informer's car. In those days, I plucked icheku from trees by just reaching out high. I did not need to climb. So Papa-NNUKWU comes across as someone that's very, very proud of his height. And when Kambili describes anti-informer and also her father, the reader gets the sense that they're a tall family. So in terms of his physical description, he stooped, he walks with a cane that he fashioned out of a tree, and then in his prime, he was a very, very tall man. Now, the first trait that we see about him is that he holds traditional and superstitious beliefs. So, and the evidence of this is that he has a shrine in his compound. So, and we see that in the quote. He has his chi. Kamil is the one telling us here. He has his chi in the thatched shrine in his yard. So, this is when Kambili and Jaja go to visit their grandfather. So that's when she reveals to the reader that there's a chi that is like a shrine, Now, Papa-NNUKWU told Kambili and Amaka and that Amaka would have been chosen to paint a shrine in the olden days. So again, this idea that he holds very traditional superstitious belief is seen in what he thinks that Amaka could have done, right? And we see that in the quote when he tells Kambili, Papa-NNUKWU said when he saw us, your cousin paints well. Your cousin here is a reference to Amaka. In the olden days, should have been chosen to decorate the shrines of our gods. So again, we see that he holds very traditional or superstitious beliefs. Now, the second evidence is that he is superstitious. So he believes that when he dies, he will join his ancestors. Not the notion of a Christian God or going to heaven. He's going to join his ancestors. And then we are told that he threw a morsel of his food on the ground, then invited Annie, A-N-I, to join him in his meal. And we see that in the quotes when he speaks here, Annie, the god of the land, to eat with him. So he threw the morsel and said, Annie, the god of the land, to eat with him. And then we also see later when, in another quote, when he says, he paused to mold a lump of fufu with his fingers. He threw the molded morsel out toward the garden, asking Annie, the god of the land, to eat with him. So here, Kambili narrates, and then she tells us the actions, the character actions that her grandfather carries. Hello, learners. I hope you've enjoyed the lesson so far. This is a sample analysis of the novel Purple Hibiscus by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. The complete course contains video analysis of the characters, settings, themes, conflicts, etc. To access the full analysis, purchase the entire course at mrquickesteaches.com. Find the purchase links in the description below. See you in class.